Okay, these are the components of nucleic acid. So the components of are mainly this nucleic acid is composed of phosphoric acid, ribose sugar, and nucleotide or nitrogen bases. Okay, so these are the main components. Okay, this acid, pentose sugar, and purines. These three are the main components of DNA and RNA. Okay, so the phosphoric acid, that is one acid, and pentose sugar is ribose, and in DNA it is a 2-deoxyribose. Okay, so the difference we will see later. Okay, so what is a phosphoric acid? This phosphoric acid is generally a uh, phosphorus atom linked with a hydroxyl group and oxygen group. Okay, so those are the fully means saturated molecules. Okay, their valency is saturated by the bonding with the phosphorus. Okay, this oxygen molecule is a divalent. Okay, so they generally bond with a hydrogen and phosphorus molecule, and then another one is hydrogen molecule, and this hydroxyl group bond with a phosphorus, and that we call as a phosphoric acid. Okay, so the phosphorus is a pentavalent. Its valency has a capability to bound with the 5 molecules. Okay, that's why it's a bonding with the 5 molecules. Okay, 5 valencies. Then another one is a pentose sugar. So this is the chemical or molecular formula of this pentose sugar. So this is generally a pentose ring that present here, and then you can see here that one oxygen is less in this deoxyribose sugar. One oxygen is less in deoxyribose sugar, and there is oxygen present at the ribose sugar. That is a basic difference between DNA and RNA. Okay, so in DNA ribose sugar is present, and in DNA deoxyribose sugar is present, and in RNA ribose sugar is there. Okay, so this is the basic difference between DNA and RNA ribose sugar. Okay, so these are the two main components, and after that, the ribose sugar mainly has a capability to form a ester bond with a phosphoric acid. Okay, so this is a base important function of or important characteristics of this ribose sugar, that it forms a ester bond with the phosphoric acid. Okay, the phosphoric acid you hardly see that the phosphoric acid and this ribose sugar get formulated through the ester bonding. Okay, so that's the backbone of DNA. Okay, so you can see in next. Okay, you can see here that this pentose means this ribose sugar and this phosphoric acid generally forming a bonding. Okay, that is there here is between this oxygen molecule and this pentose sugar. Okay, so that's the ester linking. Okay, so that's why it's a diester, because this two molecule of phosphoric acid are linking to this pentose sugar. Okay, that's why it's a diester bonding. Okay, so this 3' or to 5' phosphodiester bonding is important because it's a backbone of DNA molecule. Okay, another main component is the nitrogen base. Okay, so when we are studying a nucleotides or nucleosides, there is another important component, that is nitrogen bases. These are the uh, derivatives of pyrimidine and purine. So these are the main two types of these nitrogen bases. One is pyrimidine and another purine. Okay, pyrimidine bases are uracil, thymine, and cytosine, and purine bases are adenine and guanine. Okay, so this is the these three are the main components. That is, the first one is nitrogen bases, second one is pentose sugar, and third one is phosphoric acid. Okay, so here you can see this pyrimidine derivatives are generally a mono. It is aromatic chain. Okay, so the nomenclature comes from this starting from this nitrogen molecule N1, N2, N3. These are the carbon molecule number. Okay, You can see here uracil, thymine, cytosine. And then the purine derivatives, they are they contain two rings, okay, aromatic rings, and their nomenclature started from this CN molecule. It has generally 9 carbon molecules. Okay, then the nucleosides. Okay, so mm, after studying this component, we need to know what is nucleoside and nucleotides. Okay, so nucleoside are generally the compounds in which nitrogen bases and are conjugated to the pentose sugar. Okay, so this is a generally compound of only nitrogen base, that is purine pyrimidine, and pentose sugar, that is ribose or deoxyribose. Okay, by beta glycosides linkage. Okay, so here you can see that the sugar molecule is there. Okay, and then another one is a nucleoside, sorry, base molecule. Okay, this is the pyrimidine or purine base, and then there is a sugar molecule, that is ribose sugar, the pentose sugar. So this ribose or deoxyribose sugar generally bound with a nitrogen base that we call as a nucleoside. Okay, through the N beta glycosidic linkage. Okay? N due to the N molecule means nitrogen molecule, and beta means the orientation of this, or the linkage is a beta linkage. Okay, so that's why it's a glycosidic linkage due to it's a sugar molecule. Okay, N9 base and N1 base of pyrimidine. So that's how we call it as a adenine, the base ribonucleosides and deoxyribonucleosides. This is not the tides, okay? It is the nucleosides. So that we call is a adenine ribonucleoside, guanine ribonucleoside, and in nucleotides there is a phosphoric acid group is also there. In nucleosides, only a nitrogen base and ribose sugar is there. Okay, that is a basic difference between nucleosides and nucleotides. So here you can see that nucleotides are phosphoric acid esters of nucleosides. Okay, it is a phosphoric acid ester. So it means it's linked. This nucleoside linked with the phosphoric acid to ester bonding, and that's called as a nucleotides. So here you can see the nucleotides contains additional phosphate group, that is phosphoric acid group added here. It bonded through this phosphodiester or phosphoester bonding. Okay. So then the term deoxyribonucleic acid, that is DNA, is here. You can see a nucleic acid. Okay, here you can see that this thymine and cytosine are the two nucleic acid or nitrogen bases that bonded through this phosphodiester linkage. Okay, 3 prime 5 prime. Okay, so it started from 3 prime OH. Okay, here from here to this side 5 prime, you can see in red that 3 prime to 5 prime orientation is there. Okay, this is the primary structure generally. Okay, just linear bonding of this molecule is the primary structure, and then the folding of that molecule is generally came in the secondary structure. So it is a double helical DNA model. This was proposed by Watson and Crick. Okay, before that it is experimentally proven by the Rosalind Franklin and his colleagues. But the actual double helical molecule DNA model is given by Watson and Crick. They published this paper into the Nature journal. Okay, so this model is also called as a B form. There are mainly three types of DNA forms. Okay, the one with A form, B form, and Z form that we will see later. So DNA double helix is made up of two DNA strands, okay, running in opposite direction. So it should be uh, consider here that this DNA strand, that is nucleotide strands that run in opposite direction. Okay, that is the anti-parallel direction. The first strand coming from this side, then the second from coming from downside. Okay, and then this nucleotides that is bounded with the hydrogen bonding in each other. Okay, okay, here you can see that this two strands are running in opposite direction, and this there are bases T, G, A. Okay, only purine bind with the pyrimidine. Okay, and pyrimidine binds with the purine. Okay, that means A bind with the T only and C bind with the G only. Okay, so that's the Chargaff's rules that define the complementary binding of these nucleotides which each other. Okay, C will always bind with the G and A will always bind with the T. Either it is a T or U. Okay, that means in a RNA the T is replaced by U. Okay, uracil. Thymine base is replaced by uracil in RNA. Okay, and then there is this strand that is 5 prime. Okay, you can see it from the top, and then there is this okay, this is a double helix structure. Okay, it is a structure of helix. You know helix. Helix is a coil structure. Okay, you can see here that DNA will have a 1:1 ratio of purine and pyrimidine bases. That is a Chargaff's rule. Okay, that means equal amount of in equal ratio the purine and pyrimidine should be there in DNA. Okay, that is the Chargaff's rules. Then the tertiary structure. The supercoiled DNA chromosome and chromatins are the three types of tertiary structure of DNA. Okay, after this double helix molecule, this secondary structure also gets supercoiled, and that contains in the some fibers, that the chromatin fibers and chromosomes, that we call as a tertiary structure. Okay, so here you can see that this Watson and Crick helical model of DNA. Okay, this dimension and all this figures, it's important from your exam point of view. Okay, so diameter of this DNA molecule is about 2 nanometer. Okay, and the each strand is separated. Okay, and the distance between each strand is about 3.4 angstrom unit, and this one helix, you can see here, there's one helix, one round of this helix is contain about 10 nucleotides. Okay, in general, and these 10 nucleotides generally separated by 3.4 angstrom unit. Okay, that is the distance between these nucleotides. Okay, here you can see that the bases are 3.4 angstrom unit apart along with the helical axis. The helical structure repeats after 10 residue on each chain. Okay, the two chain are held together by hydrogen bonds. Okay, so all this CT and purine and pyrimidine is all held or bind together each other with the hydrogen bonds. Okay, this is a covalent bonding between the two hydrogen molecule. Okay, adenine always pairs with the thymine by two hydrogen bonds, and guanine with the cytosine with three hydrogen bonds. Okay, so this should be clear that adenine always pairs with thymine. That these are the nucleotides. Okay, or nitrogen bases that binds with each other. Okay, adenine binds with the thymine with the two hydrogen bonds, and guanine with the cytosine with the three hydrogen bonds. Okay, those are the weak bonding that can be denatured through the heat and other denaturing agent. So up till now, you understand this thing. Okay, or okay, in the structure, if anyone has any doubt, they can ask. स्ट्रक्चर डीएनए स्ट्रक्चर मध्ये कोणाला काही डाऊट असेल तर ते विचारू शकता. हॅलो. ओके, तुम्ही इथं बघू शकता की त्या प्रत्येक इच अँड एव्हरी न्यूक्लियोटाइड्स मध्ये 3.4 अँगस्ट्रॉम युनिट इतका अंतर आहे. ओके, आणि त्या प्रत्येक बेस पेअर मध्ये इथे हायड्रोजन बॉन्डिंगच्या थ्रू ते जॉईन झाले आहे. ते जी जे आहे आणि ते, आणि हे ज्या आउटर साइड स्ट्रक्चर आहे ते फॉस्फोडायस्टर बॉन्ड आहे. सो बॅक साइडला तिथे फॉस्फेट बॉन्ड आहे, ग्रुप आहे. त्याच्यामुळेच तो आपला डीएनए जो असतो हायड्रोफिलिक असतो. आणि डीएनए वर कोणता चार्ज असतो? तर डीएनए वर निगेटिव्ह चार्ज असतो त्याच्यामुळे. ओके, ओके, समजलंय का डीएनए स्ट्रक्चर? So the genetic material of a cell. Okay, so as we studied this DNA and RNA molecule that are main or important functional unit of a cell. Okay, so it carry the genetic information of organism. Okay, that should be transferred into its progeny. So that's how that's why it's an important component. That's why it's organized into cell in a proper manner. Okay, so in eukaryotic cells, this DNA is compacted and stored in a chromosome. Okay, the chromosome is a compacted structure containing a DNA molecule. Okay, so and then genetic information widely saved in DNA. Okay, in eukaryotic chromosome contains a giant molecule of DNA packed into 10 nanometer liposomal bits of nucleosome. Okay, so nucleosome are the subunits of this chromosome that contains 10 nanometer fibers, which contains the DNA molecules and cells. So nucleosomes are those subunits of the chromosome. Okay, in prokaryotic and virus, DNA is often densely packed in organisms. Okay, it is not well organized in prokaryotes, that is bacteria and viruses. It is a densely packed. Okay, it's randomly packed. It does not have any chromosome or any nucleoplasm or any nucleosomes. It is uh, it is not well organized. So in different species of individual, there are different genetic material is used there. So DNA is generally hereditary material in many organisms, but RNA are also hereditary material in viruses. Okay, some viruses are RNA viruses that contains the RNA as a genetic material. Okay. So what is the main function of genetic material or DNA? So DNA are generally responsible for cellular proteins. Okay. So you all know that protein is important component of cell metabolism. So whatever metabolism of cell through the enzymes and hormones, it is generally a protein molecule. Okay. So this are important, and this DNA encodes for or this gene that encode for the proteins. Okay. The proper segregation of the chromosome required for this. Okay. Replication of chromosome and compactation of chromosome. These are the important uh, function of a cell to survive or to replicate or to duplicate. So the function of genetic material is the genotype function is for replication. Okay, replication, that means producing a same copies of individual. Okay, that the DNA material or genetic material is replicated into multiple copies. The phenotypic is gene expression, that is so the process of uh, from DNA to RNA to protein, that's a gene expression process. Okay, so those gene the DNA sequence expressed to ultimately result into protein molecules. Okay, so the evolutionary function, that is allow for mutation. So evolutionary means that comes from our origins. Okay, so every individual come from his origins. Okay, so the origins should be maintained through this genetic material. So that's why it's also evolutionary purpose of this genetic material is also there. So properties of genetic material is a repository of genetic information. So it is a repository, as you all know, that this is a genetic inherited molecule, because all of our character of individual phenotypes that that has the ultimate result of this genetic information. So when differentiating between prokaryotes and eukaryotes, it's prokaryotes are generally used unicellular and lack of any membrane bound organelles such as nucleus. Okay, mitochondria, chloroplast. So prokaryote, uh, that means those are the individual that's cell bound or membrane bound organelles. That's why it lacks a nuclear membrane also, and mitochondrial and chloroplast membrane. Okay. Okay, when we are then we are studying in details about organization of DNA in individuals. Okay, in prokaryotes, it's generally as I said earlier, that it does not have any nuclear membrane or any membrane or organelle. So it generally a small circular DNA. Okay, so in prokaryote, most of the prokaryote contain the circular DNA. Okay, uh, so the genome size ranges from 10 raised to 4, that is 10,000 to some 10 lakhs of base pair of nucleic acid. Okay, the high gene density. So it contains a high number of genes. Okay, so due to its compact structure, the prokaryote that the bacteria contains high density of gene and a large amount of or medium to large amount of DNA molecules. Okay, so this base pair is a base means nitrogen basis ATGC. Okay, and it is about 10 raised to 4 times. Okay, that means 10,000 to something 10 lakhs. Okay, so the entire genome comprises almost of genes. These are the term polycistronic. So So here are some example of this organization of bacterial genome. So Escherichia coli generally contains 4.6 million base pairs. Okay, that means 46 lakh base pairs that they contains. Haemophilus influenza contains 1.8 million. That means 18 lakh base pairs. Okay? So the typical bacterial chromosome contains a few thousand of different genes. Okay, so the difference between genes and DNA. Okay, so you are familiar with with this term genes. Okay, but what is genes and what is DNA? Okay, so genes are those gene sequence that code or that resulted in ultimately into the protein molecule. Okay, so those are the functional unit of that nucleic acid or that genetic material. Okay, so you should know that there is difference between genes and DNA. Okay, genes are a DNA molecule, but it codes or it generally has coding for this protein molecules. Okay, okay, here you can see that this circular shaped chromosome of or circular shaped genetic material of bacteria. It contains the origin of replication. Replication means produce or to replicate the copy of DNA. Okay, that the replication and all transcription translation process we will study in our next lecture. So when compacted form of bacterial chromosomal DNA, you can see here in loop domains. Okay, these kinds of domains that they form. So this is all for the purpose of adjusting into the bacterial cell. Okay. Another supercoiled loop DNA into. You can see here that this is all compacting or supercoiling is a feature of genetic material into an organism. Okay. So in all individual, this genetic material is supercoiled. Okay. So this organization of DNA in eukaryotes. So in eukaryotes, that is the cell, the individual having more than one cells. In eukaryotic species, typically having a chromosome structure and a nucleus and nuclear membranes. Okay, it has multiple linear chromosome. Linear chromosome means it's not a coiled or circular chromosome. Okay, it is a linear chromosome that is from 2 to less than 50. So the chromosome in eukaryotes are located in the nucleus. Okay, it contains a nucleus which store this chromosome, but they have low gene density. Okay, so as I said, that genes are those DNA sequence that code for the protein. Okay, so here you can see that the linear type of chromosome is here. It contains in center that is centromere and at the terminal that is telomere. Okay, and there is also some repetitive sequence present here. So the eukaryotic chromatin compaction, that this chromosome or this chromatid is composed of a nucleosome. Okay, so here you can see that nucleosome. What is nucleosome? It's a DNA molecule bounded about this histone core molecule. Okay, Histone core protein are those important proteins that bound the DNA. Okay, here you can see that this linear DNA molecule that is generally bounded through this. So these are the subunit for this nucleosome. This repeating is structural unit that mainly from the part of chromatin fibers. Okay, you can ask. So do you all understand what is a nucleosome and what is chromatids? Okay, in this diagram you can see that the in first one that is linear short region of DNA double helix. Okay, then this DNA is bounded around this histone molecule. Okay, this circular beads that you can see here, these are the histone proteins. Okay, these are the bounded around this DNA strings are bounded around these proteins, and then these are the simple structure. Okay, then this 30 nanometer chromatin fiber in third figure or third layer, you can see this chromatin fiber of packed nucleosome. Okay, this is around 30 nanometer. Okay, the structure is around. Then the section of chromosome in an extended form. Okay, after supercoiling and condensed section of this chromosome, you can see, and this chromatin or this condensed chromatin structure in this chromosome you can see here. Okay, that's how this DNA is packed in the chromosome. Okay,